here we are. Today, I want to come before you not to say I know it all, but really to share with you how to bring your business to the next level. And in my world, I do pre-construction, and only pre-construction. And just sharing with you the things I've seen happening in the marketplace. How many of you guys do pre-construction?
Some people do.
Okay. How many of you guys don't want to admit that you do pre-construction? Now, how many of you guys have heard of Cornerstone? Right. Okay. All right. Hopefully good thing. But for those who never heard of Cornerstone and what we do, I got a little video. So as you can see from video, we've done a lot of projects, and we are not the biggest. I never want to be the biggest. I want to be the best of what we do. And I want to share with you, and I call it the mindset. It's because I think the business world have changed. The real estate market have changed. And therefore, there got to be something else that us as salespeople needs to do to take our business to the next level. So that's the whole premise of what we're talking about today. Okay, now everyone grab the phone out. Grab your phone out, take a picture of this. And disregard that little face there, Okay, now this is not a WeChat, okay? Actually, it's my digital business card, okay? So what I realized is that I may not bring my keys or have a lot of stuff, but I never leave the house without my phone. It's sort of like, it's attached to me. And then in this today's current market is that you gotta be seamless in connecting with your clients. You gotta make it as frictionless as possible. And so this was introduced to me by a friend of mine from Tridell. And he said, hey, are you still using the old school of business card? I go, of course, why else? So he introduced there are different platforms, different digital business cards. I found this one works for me. There's a paid version, there's a non-paid version. You don't have to get a paid version. And I have no shares in this. But what I found is that today, as an example, I just want to share with you the things and tools and the learnings that I've picked up along the way. And if it works, great. If you guys have come across a better tool, share with me and let me know. So we can all bring our game to the next level. So what happens is that once you click into it, it's called Hi Hello. Then you get my digital business card. You get my contacts, my emails. And I found it more superior than just WeChat, which is just great for quick messaging. But when I actually work on the computer and send files and do a lot of stuff, I need all those contacts. I need address, I need cell numbers, I need everything. It's not just say, hey, where do we go for lunch? So this helps. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, now, how many of you guys have read the book, Who Moved My Cheese? Okay, that's a beautiful book. It's a beautiful book. It was penned about over 20 years ago. And the whole premise of that book by Sir Johnson, just to say how do we adapt to change. So it talks about the mice in this maze, and all of a sudden the cheese that were given every day was not there. It got moved. And hence the title, Who Moved My Cheese? It actually talks about how we adapt to change. And 20 years ago, it was the personality theory. It would say, you belong to these 4 personalities, and your personalities would dictate how you respond to those changes. And that worked for a while, but I want to show you there's actually new teachings, new learnings that we need to pick up. So definitely from that book it says, don't be afraid to try new things and find opportunities in uncertain times. That's the whole key. There are opportunities. Now if you go into where we're hanging, I'll send you all the decks. Okay, but if you want to take pictures on social media, that'll still work too. Now, before we dive into the actual operations, let's go into what are some of the major things that's influencing our industry, the real estate industry. And first and foremost is inflation. Okay, we got to understand what's going on. Now, this is old, okay, because we're actually at 4.3 right now. Okay, so, but the good thing is that it was on the up and then it's slowly unwinding down. Okay, those are all good metrics. Okay, the next thing is the flip side of inflation, okay, is the increase in interest rates to battle inflation. Now think back, for the rising of the interest rates that we had, all these 7, 8 instances, did it really change and impact inflation? No. By raising interest rates, does it lower the price of milk? No. Does it lower the price of gas? No. But it's the only thing that the politicians can do, the Feds can do, the BOC can do. They can't do anything else. Actually, the inflation got unwinded supply chains because of all the things that's going on. Okay, and we were in class just now, and we learned that the ports, everybody sort of change and pivot along. Oh, thank you. I thought I need to go on diet. I still need to go on diet. Okay, and it was actually the businesses that pivot and change and really resolve the issues. That's why we are able to have, in Walmart, the shelves are stocked now instead of being half empty. So, but then you got to be able to talk about it, and we have seen the last 2 announcements, no change. These are all good stuff, okay? So interest rates is something you got to be comfortable in knowing and talking about, because those are at the tips of everybody, every buyer. Now, the underlying is, remember, real estate is a drive demand. If there's no jobs in Toronto, no one wants to live here. Okay, so it always go back to jobs. You got to be able to talk about jobs. And the job market is on a tear. Okay? This is good. The only time it took a dip was because of COVID, emergency order. All the other times it's always been on up. So that is very good. The underlying is immigration. Now, you may have seen this slide many times, and if you attend many other talks, they always talk about this. But I want to show you how you actually could differentiate yourself. Now, let's look on the left-hand side. You got the 2022 immigration numbers. Immigration department, every year they put a target, okay? And then the entire immigration department, they run to that target, and amazingly, they actually is above listing, okay? It's above asking. They actually overachieve it. The target was only 431,000. They hit 436,000. Amazing, amazing. But let's really put it into actual practical use. What's your name?
Sunny.
Sunny, could you get your phone up, please? Your phone. Get your phone.
Phone?
Yeah, get your phone. Open the calculator. On calculator, I want you to punch in 465,000. 465,000. And Andy, I want you to tell me what is the average number of households. How many people in a household?
4.
4 people. So 465,000 divided by 4. Show that number.
116,250.
116,000
250.
family. We'll ignore 250. 116,000 families here this year. Okay? And what's the breakdown between people coming over to Canada? This is national. That goes to Vancouver for the great sushi, or go to Toronto for the great jobs. What's the breakdown? Is it 50-50, 60-40?
50, maybe.
One third?
50? I'm not too sure.
70-30.
There's no right answer. That's the beauty. It's your view.
Yeah.
Let's call it 50-50. Half of that number that you just calculate, how much is that?
58.
58,000 families. 58,000 families that lands into GTA. And what do new immigrants do when they first land here? Do they go into multiple offers and buy a house? No. They rent.
Yeah.
They rent. So what does that really tell you? Is that the ability, these numbers have been on the social media all these times, but it lacks personality. It lacks your personal touch until you give it a meaning. There's no right or wrong, but you have your own view. What I've just shown you is that these are numbers that everybody sees, But what I want to encourage you to do is to take a stance, have an opinion. Now we can talk about it. We just did calculations, and suddenly if you believe it, then we have 58,000 families landing in Toronto, in GTA. Then the narrative, you're going to say that all these families, are they all going to the buying mode? No. Are they all renting in the MLS? Hell no. Because you know from MLS, we did not hit those numbers in transactions. So where are they? They're all hiding in homes, in basements. They're co-sharing. That never gets reported. But did they come into GTA so that they could co-share and live in little basement all their lives?
No.
No. No, they're above that. What they'll do is save money once they get where they want to go. After a couple of years, then they can buy. So as realtors, as guys who want to smell the money, what you want to do is attract those people. What you want to do is to talk about this whole process. What you want to do is talk about GTA. What you want to talk about is resettling into here so that they start attracting to what you are talking about. Because that is what they care about. Does that sort of make sense? Mm-hmm. Taking something so mundane and repersonalize it and taking a stance, that is important. Now, I want to share with you what had happened in the pre-construction market. Because some of you guys were brave enough to say that I actually do pre-construction. Now, let's look at this. This is the number of the pre-construction sales. Not the resale, just pre-construction, okay? Pre-construction. In 2022, we did just a little bit over around 21,000, okay? Round up, okay? It's about 21,000, okay? That makes sense, 21,000. Now, in 2021, about 33,000. That's a drop. Hey, come on. Everyone knows there's a drop. Okay, but what's important is I want to show you is actually what is really happening. It's at the January, February, and also in March now. I just pulled it off just a couple of days ago. January, February, March, the level of pre-construction sales was the lowest ever. Lowest ever. Okay, I'm just saying the obvious because you guys all know that all the projects, when you talk about pre-construction, no one wants to hear you. When you say a project is launching, they say, okay, who cares? But whoopie-doo. Okay, but we're in April right now. The market is turning. Yeah. The market is turning. So bear that in mind and know how to navigate, how to pivot as the market is turning, okay? So now, I here put out, this is really current, okay? Up to the March, okay, of 2023, the pre-construction pricing for low-rise and high-rise, average of pre-construction, okay? Because I want to empower you with some understandings to things that is happening. The first thing that I observed, the gap, the pricing gap between high-rise and low-rise. That's what we call the pricing gap. It's what they call the affordability gap, the product gap. Is that in 2019, the gap between the low-rise and the high-rise was really low. It's around 600,000, 350,000. But then when you go into the 2023, we're at 600,000. What does that really mean? That means that the low-rise is getting more and more expensive. And a lot of people they aspire to buy in the low-rise, but they can't anymore. Okay? So as a result, they chase for this, they can't attain it, they switch over to this. This is the substitution effect in economics. So as a result, that's what's happening. And now, when you look at it, I just drew a regression line and say, hey, what happens to this is that this delta will keep on spreading. Okay? What that means is that pre-construction will always be lagging and singles, low-rise, will always be the leader because there's scarcity. It's just so scarce. It'll always be the leaders to pull everything up. And then people, buyers, families, you're going to say, I wish I have X amount of $1 million. Then I'm going to buy a nice big 42-foot lot. But I can't. So I'm going to go into this little box in the sky, a condominium. That is the reason for the existence of condominiums. It is not a fad. It is not a fallacy, but it is a trend. It's an observable trend that we're seeing, okay? And that gives you confidence and say, yeah, I can still recommend my buyers to buy condominiums because there is a need for it. There's a real need because of this pricing gap that's ever expanding, okay? Now, there are some misconceptions between perceptions and reality. I'll just clear the air, talk about the white elephants. First thing is that a lot of clients, a lot of buyers say, we just have too many condos. And you guys may remember about 2 weeks ago, it was published by the National something Association that counts how many cranes in North America. And in Toronto, over 250 cranes. And we account for all the cranes. We dwarf the entire North America. I'm talking about LA, Miami, Chicago, New York, Boston, everything. The entire North America. Add all that up, still doesn't amount to what we have right now. And then, as a result, we have oversupply. There are too many condos. There's too many. Okay, the price is going to drop. You call me, Sonny, when the price drops, then I'll buy. Otherwise, I ain't buying. But you look at it, amazingly, with all the condos that we sell, the supply have actually been very, very stable. It hasn't spiked up. Our sales have spiked up because you saw the previous slide. We did about 33,000 in 2021. And then about 20,000 in 2022. But the supply side, there is a very constant bottleneck, okay? So much so that the inventory of high-rise units have not keep creeping up, but rather it keeps trending downwards. Okay, so let me get this right. I got immigration, demand goes up, I got supply that haven't chased up. What does that mean? Prices can go up. Okay, that eternal struggle, prices will go up. Okay, and what you're seeing right now is that this is the price of condominiums, single family. Put in another way, it's a similar type of story that I've shown you before with the pricing gap. Okay, because I want to highlight is that why won't prices of new homes get cheaper and cheaper? Why? It's very easy. The answer is because we are humans. We will not work for the wages that we had 5 years ago. We can only move forward. We only want more. That's human nature. So as a result, labors will not go down. Wages will not go down. So here is a slide of the percent of change. It's the percentage of change in construction costs throughout the different product types. I'm talking about apartment, singles, and commercial. There have been some little drop here and there, but that is abnormal. The majority, the percentage change have always been up. That is what is propping up everything. So if your client, your buyer say, call me when the price goes down. They go, no, I'm not going to call you. Not because I don't want to call you, because I'll never have an excuse to call you, because it ain't going to happen. Okay? What we translate and see is that the vacancy rates, because the supply is really short, vacancies keeps going down and down and down. Natural vacancies, there's natural vacancies, we are below the natural vacancy rate. That's not normal. Okay? So you see, we are actually below the 10-year line. So, in summary, on this portion, is that the GTA is still very strong. Okay? We have the lowest vacancy in Canada, and the return on rents is going up. Okay? Year over year, always double digits from January, Feb, and March. Okay? Double digits growth. That, as a landlord, that's amazing. Okay? As a landlord that rents to the same tenant for the last 10 years, that's not amazing. But still, it underlines what we're heading towards. Now, I want to share with you something, because some of the buyers will say, hey, do I have to buy now? Do I have to make an investment now? Yes. And I say yes, not because I'm trying to push something on you, it's because now you still have the chance. Okay, what I mean by that is that what I looked at is that what happens to this real estate market? Who are the players? So back not so many years ago, let's call it 2007, 2008, even the financial crisis and post-financial crisis of 2010. All these years, the lighter blue is the number of units for condominiums. And then the dark black ones is the number of purpose-built rentals. What you notice is that predominantly We have been building more condominiums than purpose-built rentals. Or put it another way, there are more people, individual investors, who say, I want to invest in condominiums, and the institutional players, the real estate income trusts, okay, the pension funds, all those major players that is moving not a couple of $1,000s, but hundreds of millions of dollars that they are stewards of, that they're putting money in other type of products. Now, let's look at what happened after 2020. In 2021 and 2022, the share of purpose-built rentals outshot single condominiums. Let that sink in. The guys that hire CPAs, that hires CCIMs, that hires the CFAs, all the analysts that is managing and doing performance for millions and millions of dollars, they're saying, I'm going to put my money into which asset class? What do I put in? Purpose-built. So what they're saying is that with all the demand in immigration and everything, okay, if the individual owners shy away from the marketplace, but when I look at the pro forma and the economic models for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, I'm betting my millions of dollars on purpose-built rentals. The day will come where Toronto will be more like New York, where home ownership, individual ownership, only accounts for 30%. Majority, 70% of New York is 70% on apartments. Families, institutions. That's what we're heading towards. So I would tell my clients, say, yeah, you don't have to buy now, but why wouldn't you? While you still have a chance. Why would you want to wait? Okay? Because that day is not going to last forever. So now we have a shortage of project deliveries, we have a lack of supply, and we have this surge in rental markets that we can observe right now. I haven't talked about those cohabiting, co-sharing, those basement, and I've seen some listings. Basement where there's actually, it's obvious, it's a couple of families sharing it, okay? Because there's 2 summer kitchens in the basement. Holy Jesus, how's that happen? Here's a slide. This is a great slide. How many of you guys have entered the real estate industry after the financial crisis of 2009? Okay. Man, love you guys. You guys are so young, okay? So here's the picture. This is the market that we were in for the last 10, 12 years. We're selling to the sheeps. What I mean by that is that we were in this madness of a market where people were buying. Why are you buying? I don't know. But my neighbor bought, my friends bought. Everyone's talking about real estate because it's the way to go. You just have to buy. Well, what are you buying? I don't know. It's my agent. He has allocation. He has allocation I need to buy because it's so hard to get allocation. Before, for the last 10, 12 years, what was the name of the game? Get allocation. Isn't that right? Just get allocation, then you win. Once you get allocation, you win the game. You can make money. It's just so damn hard to get allocations. So we have to do co-op and co-op. 1 tier, 2 tier, 3 tier co-oping. Because it's so hard to scrounge around to get allocations. But what happens in the sheep mentality? We are post that era now. How do sheep buy? How do sheep do? What do sheep do when they don't see other sheep in front of them? They stop. Simple. So I'm telling you that the market have changed, the behavior have changed. If you don't change the way you do your business, you can get the same results. Good luck. You may. I'm not saying it's going to be doomed for failure, but the chance of failure is so high. So how should we be looking at this? We should be planning. And I'm sure you guys have your own business plan, right? Show of hands, who have a business plan? Beautiful. Yeah, you guys are much more self-motivated. Now, once you have your business plan, that is the first step. Because I look at business plan as being the compass as to where you want to go. I want to increase my production, 20%, 30%, 40%. But more importantly, it's actually the systems. Business plan alone doesn't really help. It is the system of what you do to change, how you really make it work, how to implement it. That is what's important. It's not about the journey, how to get from A to B. It's talking about the many habits, the changes that you want to incorporate. And more importantly, it's how to reset yourself to bring your status to a higher level. Okay? Raising the bar. Now, I've talked about goals just now. You got to dream big. But before dreaming big, you need to understand what is important to you. Okay? Now, I call this the vision, the value. You guys stand down and say where you want to be 5 years down the road. If your answer is say, I want to have 2 Mercedes instead of only 1, that is not good enough. Okay? Money is important. I love money. I'm in real estate because I love money. Exactly, who doesn't? So it's no shame to talk about money. I want to talk about money. But I actually want to talk about why do you want to have more money? The why. What is important to you? Is it your family? Is it education? Is it, like, what is it? Because I don't want you guys to wake up one day and say, hey, I got all the money in the world and I'm really good. But then what is the meaning of it all?
Yeah,
Okay? That's no good. That is actually a failure in my life, in my books. So what I want you to do is have the vision far out enough so you can dream big enough and have goals that's aligned to that vision. Aligned to that. And then the next step is to develop your own system. Not to copy other people. You got to customize it to your system. Because whatever works for other people, like Tony Robbins, it may not work for you. It's just like, I love to be like, but I can't be like him. I don't speak like him. You know what I mean? You got to put all those, lastly, into action. Okay, so let's put it all together. How does this really work? How many of you guys have read this book? Beautiful book. Okay. All of you should read this book. If you don't read it, listen to audiobook. Carol Dweck, about 10 years ago, she penned this book, working out of Stanford, and her premise was very simple. She said, are you born successful or you're not? How long ago was it that you read this book?
About a year and a half ago.
Okay. You still remember?
When I started my real estate journey.
Okay. If I said anything wrong, correct me, okay? Because it's been about a year and a half that I read this. Now, what she said is that you could actually train yourself to be successful. That's your mindset. And so what she did was very, very basic. It's that from Stanford, she went to school, and then she took the kids in elementary school into 2 different population bases. They are from similar socio-economical background, similar type of GPA, similar IQs, 2 pools. One pool she called the control group. The other pool, she said, this is the group that I'm going to do some little mindset experiment. What she did was to say, hey, kids, start talking to them in a very positive manner and say, it's okay to fail. It's okay you don't know social media. It's okay you don't know this, you don't know that. It's okay you don't know all those stuff that we talked about, the jobs, the employment, the immigration, all this stuff. But I'm going to learn it. It's okay if you try something and it fails. You try pitching to a client, it fails. You try this type of posting, you try these type of articles, it fails. You try this video, you try going to be an influencer, and you find out that is not easy. Okay? All these things, that's okay, as long as you keep trying. What she was actually talking about is that the attitudes and belief is more important than anything else. Is that we are all innately born with a fixed mindset. We may have been from our parents. We may have learned this from our friends. They'll say, what are you doing? You cannot swim. Come on, just go. Or, what? You're not good at this. Or what? No, that's not you. That's not you. We have all this fixed mindset limitations. And how? In her, how to break through that? Is by these 3 little letters. Is that I am not. And you fill in the it puts your mind to say, I'm not there yet. I don't know it yet, but I'm on the journey of knowing it. I'm the journey of being expertise and learning and be able to command it and then pick myself up when I fall down. That's beautiful. Or I'm not as successful, especially in pre-construction. Because you see those influencers, the condo queens and the condo kings and the condo prince and drive big cars and blah, blah, blah. And those who are queens, like they all try to glamorize whatever they're at. And you say, oh, no, I'm not that. Like, I'm just not that. I'm not that, okay? I hate to name names, and I won't name names. But then we may benchmark against them and say, I'm not yet. Because at the end of the day, they may not be as successful as you think they are. Okay? That's the key. Now, there are lots of things that we're not good at. But that's okay. That should not be the limiter to what your capabilities are. Rather, that should be the motivator to get you going. Does that make sense? What you instead should focus on is the growth mindset. Growth means I am better tomorrow than today. That is it. Or more higher level is that I will leave the world in a better place than I first found it. That's it. That's my motto in life. Okay. So growth mindset, what is it? It is what falls after these two words, I am. Because whatever falls after I am will be the way you talk to yourself. That's important. Okay. Now, even us ourselves, as our company, okay, we're going through this. Again, I tell you, I'm not standing in front of you saying, hey, this Johnson, the guy it all made, he figured it all out. No, I don't have it all figured out. In fact, there's no shame. The video that you saw, a lot of the projects were Menkes. They gone in-house. A lot of the projects was with Center Court. They've gone in-house. We're pivoting. We're trying to survive. We're trying to navigate. So do I know it all? No. Shit, I don't. But I know the pain that you guys are going through because I'm going through the same pain. I'm going through the same struggles, and struggles are real. I'm trying to feed my team. I'm trying to keep my team together. I'm trying to get more projects, get more listings. I do the same shit that you guys do. I go on listing presentations. I get rejected. I prospect, and I prospect again. I still get rejected. It's not how big I am. It's never about how big I am. Does that make sense? Now, before I get into the next segment, talk about time. Is this topic good?
Yes.
Is it helping you guys?
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to waste your time. Here's a pop question. How many of you guys, first thing you guys do in the morning when you wake up is to grab your phone and go through the Instagram, social media, WeChat, Moments, and everything? How many of you guys do that? How many of you guys do that? Show of hands. Show of hands. Okay. Good. Don't. I'm not saying don't ever check your social media. I'm just saying don't check it for the first couple of minutes. Why? I'm not sure if it's the same reason as you, but it's because we all have 24 hours in a day, don't we? The only person that doesn't have 24 hours in a day is Elon Musk. Okay? He thinks he has 25. 24 hours, we all work, but more importantly, it's not what we do while we're awake, it's what we do when we're asleep. When we're asleep, we go through different stages in sleep. You may have heard that we go through phases that were really creative. Different stages. That's where your higher self. That is important. We all go through that. And that, like sleep therapy, actually have documented that happens. The different wavelength. So what happens is that when first thing in the morning you wake up, you start scrolling through all those things, there's nothing wrong. Like Instagram is wonderful. Okay? TikTok is addictive. Okay? What happens is that when you start getting all those things, what I call distractions, you really miss the opportunity to connect with that creative self. Now think about it. The work that we do, you guys are realtors, belong to EXP, same brand, but you guys are all competing with each other. So what makes you Sunny? It's because of you. I cannot be like you. I don't want to be like you. Nor do you want to be like me. You are you. So what you want to do in your business, in your practice, is to bring that personality out as much as possible. You want to articulate your own way of looking at things. The population, all these things. How you look at everything, it all becomes relevant. You may look at it and say there are 4 people in the household. I may think there's only 3.5. When I went through school, just this week, I was taught there's only 2.8 people in a household. Okay, what's the 0.8? I really don't know. But whatever it is, that is your own view. And whatever it is, that will drive your narrative as to how you speak and talk about it. That's important, because that is you. There's no right or wrong answer. There's never, because you are you. I'm not going to debate it. But I will either agree with you, and if I agree with you, I want to listen to you. I want to hear what you have to say. And I'm not going to hear what Sunny has to say, because I am in sync with you. Does that make sense? We all have our space. In a listing company like my world, I started with only a couple of companies as my competitors. Now I got over 15, 16, 17. Okay, it's getting more and more competitive. So I know the same dynamics. So you can say, well, there's so many brokers around. Okay, yeah, hell. But as long as I be true to myself, I still attractive people who want to work with me. Simple as that. So now, talking about time blocking, how many of you guys practice time blocking? Show of hands. Beautiful. Okay, so I will just quickly skip on it. What is most important is that you always have a portion of time that you use to reflect. Okay? Now, time blocking, the very nature of time blocking is just talking about time blocking and just getting shit done. Okay? Dedicating some time, no distractions. But then what I couple that with it is the very last, for me, Sunday, every Sunday night, is when I look back at my whole week, all the presentations I've done, all the things that I've learned, all the things, the thoughts that come to mind, all the journals that I've done, all the creative brainstorming with my team, and I say, how will I do things differently next week? If I reflect and I see that I've made progress, but it doesn't change my trajectory, it doesn't change my action, what good is it? What good is it? Well, we should be on this path of continuously changing, tinkering, and fine-tuning so we become a better version of ourselves. So what we should do is that periodic. It doesn't have to be weekly. It could be bi-weekly, monthly. Hopefully it's not yearly because you're just like way too late. And the reason when you do this review is actually helps you to secrete dopamine, chemicals in your brain. Get a high because you see that you've made progress. For me this week, I went through class. I didn't die. I made it through. My next challenge is to actually go through the exam. Okay? That's good. Pat on my shoulders. Now it's going to go launch a project and sell. Okay, great. Wonderful. So that periodic review is so important. Okay? Now, how many of you guys have read this book? I bet you. Show of hands. Only that? You haven't read it? This is a great book. This is what I call golden classics, okay? 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It is a great book. 7 habits that really distills into a good practice, okay? Now, effective people, okay, don't lose sight and just go into rabbit hole and say, I just want to be as efficient as possible, okay? Don't lose that. There's actually something else. What I latch onto with Stephen Covey is actually when he talked about the circle of influences, the circle of concern. He draws 3 concentric circles. The big circle is circle of concern. A lot of things that is very cosmic, very global, things that concerns you. Okay, like price of milk. I'm concerned about it. Okay, I am concerned about it. Okay, the price, I love golf, so the price of drivers is important. Okay, it's getting higher and more expensive. You know, war is important. My friend called COVID, that's important. Okay, and various versions of it. But can I influence anything on this? No. So should I lose sleep over this and be so worried so that I'd be frozen and not able to move on? No, you should not. Okay, rather, from his book, he talked about the circle of concern, all these things that you have no influence over. Let's focus on circle of influence that you do have control over. You can choose who you want to talk to, how you want to talk to them, how you want some positive energy, some good news, and how to really help them. That is that. And then there is the inner circle of control. Okay? After COVID, I realized I have no control over anything. I have no control over my health, no control over the health of my significant other. I have no control over anything like that. So I don't really worry about I'm trying to control, but rather let's focus on the things such as influencing and deepening and broadening my circle of influence. So what we did, my partner and I, Shep and I, beginning of this year, we said, what is 2023 going to look like? Now, first question we asked is, are there people buying pre-con right now? And the answer is yes. Because look at all the different projects that we've launched so far in the marketplace. We had the Forma, okay? We had the 8 Elm. We have the North Core. We have the Olive. And the list goes on and on and on. And all these projects. And have all these projects been sold? Yeah. Are there people buying it? Absolutely. So the first answer to that question is yes, there are people buying. Then it goes to the second answer is that these people, I call it early adopters because I think the market have changed. So these are the early entry into this marketplace. They're not the sheep. They're not buying because other sheep are in front of them. They don't see any ass in front of them. They're still moving on and buying. That's the significance of leaders. Who and what do these leaders think and talk about? Okay, that's interesting. Because definitely, if you guys enter the industry for the last 10, 12 years, you've been selling to the sheeps. I'm not saying this, like, it's not derogatory. Definitely not. But it's just their cycle profile is that they're buying because there's a lot of exuberance. Other people buying. It's a very good market. And I was part of that. I was part of the guys that in Toronto. You know how we do pre-construction right now? You ask for bank draft? Yeah. Who started that shit? I was the culprit. I saw Crestford did it with Halo. First time in the entire... We used to take personal checks. Back in the good old days, personal checks mean something. It means that you're going to buy. And then Halo started off with somebody charging $5,000 in bank drafts. I talked to my partner and said, holy shit, bank draft. It costs $850 to buy a bank draft. Yeah, people are lining up. I go, ooh. Well, what does bank draft show? It's just you're more earnest. It's more real. Then I go, well, shit, if they charge $5,000, I'm going to charge $10,000. 10,000 bank draft becomes the industry standard now. Amen to me? Amazing. Okay, that's my claim of fame. That's what I'm going to put on my CV. I just like rock this industry. No, but what happens right now is that they're still buying, but they're buying for different reasons. They're buying because they understand the market. They have a positive outlook, because anyone who does not have a positive outlook, they will not be buying anything. They will not be investing in the future. That's what investment is. I'm investing into the future. So for sure, they will have a positive outlook. So ask yourself, do you have a positive outlook? Oh, no. Okay. Are they going to be on the same wavelength as you? Probably not. Probably not. And they are very, very intelligent. They're not buying because all the other aunties and uncles are buying, because they are buying with what I call a purpose. There's a reason. Your ability to articulate the reason will get your foot in the door, so to speak. Okay? And that reason is no longer saying, dangling, I have allocations. Okay? No. They're not motivated by the fact that you have allocation. Okay? Now, they also understand immigration and growing demands. They understand the rental market is going through the roof. They get actually very excited to hear that January, year over year, double-digit growth. February, year over year, double-digit growth. All these numbers, they love it. They see there's a strain in the supply. What's that really mean? Is that these things, you may have heard of it, but do you really embrace it? Do you really talk about it? Do you even have an opinion about it? If you don't, then these positive early adopters, these positive thinkers, will think that, well, you're one of the naysayers. You're saying everything that other people are saying. You're no different. You haven't differentiated yourself. So remember the mindset, if you don't know these things yet, that's okay. Learn it. If you haven't worked that into your own quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily newsletters that you send to your clients, it's not too late. Work on it. Does that make sense? So now let's put it all together. And I call it the time is now. Not before. Okay, it should have been before, but definitely not tomorrow. The time is now. How many guys have gone through this book, Atomic Habits? Beautiful. You guys are more. Like, seriously. Usually, I don't get that many hits. Okay, great book. Okay, this book. I mean, the parents were like, I encourage you guys to all pick up this book. It showed me that I can make changes in my life. I don't have to change my life upside down. Simple as that. It just shows me that yes, I can do something different. I am able to alter the future of my company. With or without Menkes, I can still make it happen. That's what it showed me. So what did that book say? It says, you have that 1% change, that atomic change, little small changes, is going to make a whole world of difference. And where does that change start? It starts with your attitude first. Attitude will flow into your behavior. And that behavior is formulated by what you read. Okay? Now, it's what you read and what you don't read. Or what you watch on YouTube or on whatever subscriptions and what you choose not to. The amazing thing is that once you hear something, once you put something in your mind, you cannot untrain it. Think about it. You read the negative news. Holy shit, the whole world's going to crap out. Holy God, all this negativity. You cannot reverse that. It's part of you. You got to work double hard to flush it out with more positive news. That is the danger. So guard this with your life. Okay? What we want you to do is that 1% change. Again, it's not massive. It's just little things that will help you reorientate, expand what your social digital persona is. Now, a lot of guys may talk about this shit, but they may not talk about this. What we want you to do is think about it. The 1% change, I'm not saying that to stop saying that I have allocation. Because what I told this to a lot of VIP brokers. Like, who have platinum access? Everybody. Think about it. I may not, if I'm on the resale world, I'm going to raise my hand. Whatever project, I have access, I have allocations. Whether I have it or not. Why? Because if I raise my hand, I may get picked. If I never raise my hand, I'll never get picked. So why should I not raise my hand and say, I'm a VIP, double platinum, triple platinum to this project? I'll do it. Just a lot of chances I get picked, I go, wow, wonderful, I get picked. Beautiful. I know shit about this project. Well, let me go ask some people. Ask my colleagues, ask my team members. Okay? That's part of the game. So everyone have access. Okay? So what I'm asking you is that don't change that game totally. Yeah, you're still going to post whatever. What's the hottest project right now?
Union City.
Well, Tower 1, 2 is gone. Okay, what else? What's the next one? This one! The Unionville! No, just kidding. Okay. No, they're lost. You got North Shore, they got all these things. Like Exhale, you got Allure, you know. Like, whatever project. Because if pre-con is your domain, you want to be a voice. So you got to know them all. Just post them, mirror posting, put some stuff in there. That's the bare minimum. But then you want to create something more. Those stuff, those economic stuff, start putting that in there. But you want to make it digital so that it is shareable. Remember, the client base that you have, they will buy when there are other sheeps in front of them. Because that's the mode that they were in. So the mode that they were in is that they were buying because all the other people were buying. So when all the other people are buying, they'll come back to you. Nurture them. Don't leave them. Don't abandon those sheep. Those are great sheep, okay? But what I want to do is expand your circle of influence to start attracting those other buyers because they're out there. They bought. And there's still more of them, okay? And how many pre-constructions did we do last year? Over 20,000. So there's 20,000 people, families, households that said, yeah, I'm going to make investments, okay? That happened last year. So there are guys like that. There are buyers. There's an opportunity there. You just have to speak the right language. But if they're not in your fold right now, bring them in. How to attract them in? You got to use social media. Because it's shareable. It's the only advice. If your mode of advertising is only put your face on a bus stop, well, that's limited. Because it's not shareable. It's not scalable. It's only through digital that we can share and scale. Okay, expand. Meaning that it's like I hate to say it, it's like COVID. It's contagious, okay? In a positive way. Does that make sense? So now, let's go into expanding your marketing. Expanding your marketing is that you got like this is these 4 gems should be part of your new business program, your new system. What is it? Because think about it. Before, the good old days was that a project is launched, Unionville, whether you are a platinum, double VIP, you can say, I have allocation. And you hope that people call you. And once you call and say, okay, I don't have allocation, I'm going to find somewhere people have allocations, it will co-op. That worked before. But what I'm trying to share with you is that that may not work as well right now. Now, when we go back to the good old days and there's all sheep, then that will still work. But until then, let's try something different. Let's try to expand your voice and expand your audience. How do you do that? Is that you got to start talking about timely topics. When is the next interest rate announcement?
June sometime.
Yeah, June 7th. Okay. Always on a Wednesday. Okay. So, but how good it would be if you actually go back into the March and April and say, okay, these are the last 2 rate announcements. And your articles, you're going to talk about, hey, the next announcement, let's wait for something in June. Well, let's not wait. Let me show you something. How good it would be if I give you a summary of all the banks, 5 dominant banks, as to what they have said in March after the rate announcement saying we're holding steady. And then I'm going to do a comparison of all these same 5 banks in April when it was announced that we're going to hold steady again. Do you think there's going to be some commonality in their narratives between these major 5 banks? If you want to see that summary and my take on it, click yes. If you have any friends who are interested in a topic like this, who may benefit from this, share with them so that they could also get this summary. What have you done? Ask for referrals. But if you ask for referrals to sell something, no. You just offer them a service. You offer them some insight. You just offer them some value without asking for a sale. I think in this current times is that I'm not selling a pre-con, but I'm selling myself. I'm selling my professionalism. And my clients are buying what? Are they buying a condo? No. They're buying into the confidence of the marketplace. That's all. And then what I want to do is understand what the needs are, so much to the point that I know why they want to buy condos. Or put in reverse, I'm going to pre-train them to understand that there's a need to buy condos while they still can. This is what I call what? Farming the need. Okay? So here is something that no one else talks about. Okay? And I'm probably the only guy in town that talks about shit like this, okay? Because I saw the mastermind by Rich Danji. He didn't talk about shit like this. Which it's cool. I don't want to be like him. So first one, inflation. Remember inflation? Back a couple of years ago, if you were talking about inflation to your clients, they think you're crazy. Like when we were at 1.99 mortgage, come on, inflation? Yeah. Johnson, where are you? Like you don't know. But now, what is inflation? What is inflation? What's inflation? That's a number. But what is inflation? It's erosion of your purchasing power. We get caught like CPI index going up, but it is what it really is. Its ugly head is the erosion of your family's purchasing power. You're losing some stuff. So if you don't hedge, you don't arbitrage, you don't fight that, you don't have things that will counter this inflation, it means that $1 million in your household assets after a year of 5%, of non-protected inflation hemorrhaging at you, you're going to lose your purchasing power. Compound over 5 years. See how much you've lost. $1 million. You lose a lot. So what happens is that now is the best time to talk about it. Because even though we're 4.3, we're nowhere near the 3% or 2% target. Are we going to get there? It doesn't really matter. What really matters is that if you don't start something right now to protect your family, whose job is it to protect your family? My job or your job? Hopefully it's your job. My job is to guide you as to how to package everything together. My job is to ask you the right questions, to get you thinking. My job is to give you the right solutions. Okay? And then so inflation is a real need. Okay, second one is asset diversification. That's a little bit deeper. Okay? It has many syllables. But then what it really talks about is that a lot of people say asset diversification. They look at, say, like stocks and say, okay, I have this stock, I have that stock. And they'll come, and this question really comes and say, which is the best project for me to invest in? How many guys have you heard that question before? Which is the best project? Bullshit. The right project is the best project. It's not the project that I have allocations to is the best project. It's not the project that just had a wonderful party is the best project. No. It is the right one. And how will you know the right one if you don't ask the right questions? You can't. But back in those days of the sheep's mentality, I don't really have time. And the buyers didn't have time. Johnson, don't waste my time. Do you have this allocation? Do you have this project? I don't want to answer questions. So answer, do you have it or not? I'm going to call the next agent. Or when I talk to clients, I say, look, I don't care what your motivation is. Are you going to buy? No, I'm not going to ask you, do you want to buy? Do you have a fucking $10,000 bank draft? No bank draft? Need not apply. Don't even talk to me. You wave a bank draft in front of me, I go, yeah, I'll talk to you now. Because you're serious. I don't want to waste my time. You don't want to waste my time. You don't want to waste your time. No one wants to waste anybody's time. There was no time for connection. But that was the world we were in. I was the culprit. Because I was talking to brokers. It's like, you want, no, come on. You don't really have time to learn about this project. All I'm asking is how many worksheets do you have? Oh no, I'm sorry. How many bank drafts do you have? You have no bank draft? I'm not talking to you. Because I got gazillion platinum brokers who's waving bank draft and say, give me allocations.
That's true.
That's how it was. It was crazy. It was crazy. But we're all part of that. And so asset diversification is actually what the question is. What should I be buying so that I can sleep at night? Because you know that risk and reward, risk and return, is that if I buy really risky assets, I get the most return. So they're not really asking what gives me the best return. They're saying, how can I formulate my investments so that I hit my inflation hedge and yet I can sleep at night? That's what they're asking. They may not articulate in that manner, but if you ask them, I think what you're really asking is this. They say, yeah, Johnson, yeah. Now you understand me. Now, another reason that you need to cultivate is that helping the kids buy their first home. Another layer is helping your parents downsize or right size in the homes. No one wants to admit that they're getting older, but everybody is getting older. That's a hard topic to touch on. Hard. It takes a lot of maturity and real understanding and trust, bonding with the clients. But it's needed. It's needed, okay? Because aging population, 25% are all in the... That's our demographics. Generational wealth. How do I ensure? And, I'm an immigrant family. We're not third or fourth generation. So the generational wealth is important because every immigrant comes over here with that knowledge that I will sacrifice for my next generation. Mm-hmm. So I have saved, I have made investments, I did all this stuff, I wore the same pair of pants for the last 10 years from Walmart so I can save more money. So my kids can go and have a better life. That's what parents do. But how do you transfer that wealth if you don't teach the kids to save? So these are what I call the 6 pillars. These are 6 real needs. So I'm not just saying, hey, I got this project, let's say allocations and then who wants to buy it? No. I want you guys, and I'm challenging you guys to farm this need 365 days out of the year. You don't just talk about condos when there's a project launch. I don't care whether there's a project launch or not. There are value propositions. There are conversations that surround all this stuff day in, day out. How beautiful would that be if I really meticulously do that right now? I don't have to wait and say, hey, is this project launched yet? No, I'm doing my work all the time. I am creating that need. And then say, hey, Johnson, what should I be buying? Wait, I understand your needs are. Wait until I find something that's suitable for you. Because your job is actually not just buy the next project, because next project that gets launched may not be the right one. I want to find you the right one. Does that make sense? So it's very much about nurturing the need. To make sure the need is asking questions. Remember, I did not say the first thing you do is to say, I have allocations. And the first thing to say is not to say, I am a platinum broker, because they don't really care. It's only when you ask a question that resonates in their hearts, they'll say, holy shit, you're a mind reader. That's exactly what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm concerned about. That's exactly affordability. All these other things, all the needs. What will be the state of the world for my kids when they grow up? For my grandchildren. All these things. You are mind reader. If you ask the questions, you got the balls to ask the question, you may have the answer. Because all the other people, all the other brokers are saying, I'm so good, call me up. No. And then you have to listen. Then ask more questions. It's so easy to slip into push mode. Yeah. You want to buy this? Yeah, it's really good shit. Buy. I got allocations. No. It worked for the last 12 years, really, because it was in a frenzy. And no one cared about anybody else. But I think we are truly in different times. When you review the needs, you could properly present a proposal. It may be the Unionville is the right solution. It may not. It may not. Okay? And then for my brokerage, for my team, the projects that our team works on, you don't need to pre-close them. All you have to do is pre-close and say, hey, if we've gone all through all this, we feel that you may have a need. I think this project is the right solution. Let's go check it out. Very non-committal. Because I don't want you to burn any bridges. It's no good for you. It's so hard to make that connection. All you have to do is just go check it out. If you're at the sales office, for example, you bring someone to Unionville and then say, hey, it's not working. This is not it. They actually want and need to buy in downtown. They actually need to spend and buy something very iconic. $3,000 a square foot? Yeah, that's what they need. That's the right thing. Great. Let me go check it out, and then we'll go for another proposal. Because all you've done is after you've done all this presentation, gone to the sales office, and you're checking the boxes, and it's not checking, and say, hey, wait a minute, let's understand your needs a little bit more. And then say, great, now that I understand your needs are like this, why don't we do this? It's great that you know this project, but I don't think this is right for you. And you probably think this is not right for you. Why don't I go back and do more research and come back with another proposal? You think this client is going to go into Google and go find another VIP broker? No. Because spend the time, and they will not get anything remotely close to the service, to understanding, to the connection that you have established with them. What have you done? You sealed the deal. You haven't sold them anything, but you sold them on your professionalism. Have they bought a condo yet? No. It's just a matter of time. But they've bought into your service. And at the end of the day, that's what it is. That's what real estate is. It's our professional service. Does that sort of make sense? These are all the projects that we've got going on. Just very quickly, I got great golf downtown. It is ready to move in. Okay, I got Home One Power and 357 King at Blue Jays and King Street. This is the Home One Power lobby. And it's a resale that's paying pre-con commissions. Okay, it's ready to move in. It's final close already. So it's like for people, any of the families with the kids that say, or they have a need to say, I need to go into a brand new condo. The resales all over the place. And there are assignments all over the place. But if they say, hey, I need to have financing, I want to move in, I want a fresh new condo, I want new instead of secondhand, yeah, this is it. Okay, so I got Rachel on this file. Then you could hook up with her. Okay, next one, sell for sale.
You go back?
Oh, no, no.
Johnson? Yep.
Johnson, what do you mean by 1 year free mortgage credit?
It's actually they give you a closing credit that will offset your first year's interest in your mortgage. Okay. Like for some families, so we've done a lot of deals like that, where they're actually moving from one apartment to another apartment. They're renting, and the rent just got jacked up. So instead of renting again, they go into a purchase, right? And they were on the other end of the rents going up and getting outbid. They said, well, screw it. And so what happens is that this credit actually helps them on the closing costs plus furnitures. They want to upgrade. Okay, it's really good. Okay, now next one is sell for sale. Sell for sale. Who knows sell for sale? Where sell for sale is? Okay, South Forest Hill is very, very good. It's a rich location. Okay, so yes, North Forest Hill and South Forest Hill, Spadina, St. Clair, the rich people. Rich. Okay. And I would really focus in, and you're buying South Forest Hill, not because it's the cheapest condo in the GTA. No, hell no, not in this neighborhood. But it's very, very good value. More importantly is this statement. For the last 30 years, they have no other major approvals of this type of project. Okay? It sits right off Spadina. Okay? And that's important. Because think about it. Now, it's not like target clients, it's not the first time condo investor. No. It's condo buyers that have a couple of condos. They say, what else? What else do I need for my portfolio to really bring to the next level? Or to say, even if shit happens, this is the location that is unshakable. What do we have here? For the last 30 years, no applications have been approved. Is that for the last 30 years, the rich, the homes of the developers, the lawyers, the doctors, the dentists, okay, they've said no to every application. It's only Parallax and Westdale, institutional money, family, cash rich. They were able to get this project approved. Because the neighbors will object to any applications. Because they can. Because they know the game. And somehow they got this approved. And you're buying it, again, not because it's so cheap, it's so rare. It's a 2-tower building sitting on podium. After this is all said and done, it's all sold. I don't know how long it will take to get another approval done. This is steps to UCC. Remember, Upper Canada is where all the elites. You don't buy your way into UCC. Your kids, you got to have money. You got to have a lot of money. But just having money is not good enough. Your kids got to be smart. And not just smart, got to be well-rounded. Got to be articulate. Got to be good at everything. The perfect poster child. Even that, you still have to go through interviews. Not just the kid, the parents have to go through interviews. Then you get admitted. But once you're admitted, you're in the league that is so different than anybody else. Because all the elites in the GTA are there. Some of them want to be there, they can't ever be there. Same for girls' school, Bishop Strawn. Same equation. Just because you're rich, okay, call it what it is. We have a lot of rich people in Markham. But can their kids all go to UCC? No. Is it by connections that you buy? You donate another $100,000, then you can get in? No, it's not like that. It's way too easy. Because those neighbors got more than 100,000, many times fold. Okay? So that's not how that game is played. It's really nicely put together. Again, you're buying it because you say, man, this really completes my portfolio. Okay? Because it will be cool. It will be cool for my kids or my grandchildren to be in that neighborhood. Okay? If they are lucky enough, smart enough, good enough to really get into it. Does that make sense? Express too. Remember, Express. I talk about immigrants. I talk about people coming here and they rent first. This is right on the subway. Okay? What we have is right at Wilson subway station. I have Yorkdale. Okay? I'm just one station north of Yorkdale shopping mall. It's called Wilson. Okay? This is where the trendy condos, a lot of other condos, Southside condos, okay, Gramercy Park is by Malibu. This is the last piece of the puzzle. The entire community is all built. The last piece is Express 2. Express 1 is into interim occupancy very shortly. So this last piece of puzzle, okay, and then the whole community is done. Think about it. I am within 2 minutes from the Wilson subway station. I have 401. And a little bit further down, I have Highway 400, whole stretch. For any new immigrants that comes in, they'll say, yeah, if I want accessibility because I really don't know where my next job is. I just want to play it out. Anything along the subway is going to be good. But you have the subway plus the highway. You have everything. So you have the jobs, you have the schools, you got everything at your doorsteps. That is a good play. So if anybody who's looking for investment, say, hey, I want something that is like best of everything. I understand that the whole immigration growth in Toronto, after so many years, we will hit 10 million people. Within the next 10 years, we're going to have another 1 million people in GTA. 1 million people. That's a lot of people. That's a lot. Okay, does that make sense? So this is massive growth in the nearby surrounding as well, which is all good. Okay, but this is much, much, much further on down the road, and it's outside the reach of the immediate neighborhoods. But then it's a location that's very powerful in terms of future growth. Does that sort of make sense? Incentive, low deposits, great stuff. I got Anna and also Andy working on this file. Okay. Again, I'll shoot you once you get onto my hi, hello. You got my digital card. I'll send you all these slides when I get home later on today. Now I want to jump into the Unionville. Okay, so here I got 2 pictures. The first one is on the left-hand side. We sit. You guys know Markham? You guys know the 16th and Kennedy? You guys should know it, just like just down the road. Right at the corner. This doesn't really work. It does. Right over here, that's the Montessori. That's the Unionville Montessori. Okay? It used to be called Unionville Montessori School. The proper name is Unionville College now. They made an application that was approved. Okay? This land that we sit on was just adjacent next to it. Okay? It's all flattened out. The old homes that are there, we bulldoze it. We clean it all out. Okay? Fence it up, ready for, we're doing a site investigation right now. We submit our building permits. Okay, but the beautiful thing is that the Montessori, look, Montessori starts with only preschoolers. Then say, okay, great. There's a huge demand for this type of elite education. I'm going to kindergarten. I'm K 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And say, why stop at 12? I'm going to college now. And the reason is the need for really divergent thinking and creative thinkers and well-grounded, that need is huge. Especially we're entering this 21st century. Like you gotta be able to navigate all the things that's going on. So they had this inspiration to say, hey, I want to build not just to just teach little young kids, but this whole lifelong teaching is all the way through. But then there's a ceiling. Because when I get into university, it's not just about how good your first and second year programs are, it's actually your research. That's what defines the merits of a university. So I don't attract the right research grants. I don't have the right publishing of the papers, the PhDs. So I can only go to that college level, and then that's the prep. Then go into UT. Then go into other private schools if they want to. So that is what's happening. So I show this because the Unionville, right off the back of Union City, and the name Union, they think it's the same thing. Totally different. I want to showcase to you what we have done with this developer. First developer is from the West Coast, from Vancouver. Okay? Now, there's no shortage of West Coast guys coming to GTA to get the foothold. What do I mean by that? My previous client, Kingdom, okay, are from Vancouver. My first job in Toronto was with Concord ADEX from Vancouver. Concert Properties from Vancouver. Pinnacle from Vancouver. And the list goes on. So definitely there is a trend here, is that when you are big in the West Coast, you get to a level, either you retire or you go on to the next stage. Is to start diversifying because of the economic opportunities in Toronto. So what we have here is that this project is about 10 stories tall, okay, 269 units. And the claim of fame is that it sits at the cross-section of 16th and Kennedy. So on the northwest quadrant is Angus Glen. That's also the home of what used to be the York Downs golf course, which is now making way for the Union Village, Metropia and Minto. And then Kaimor, which also have part of that property, they're launching the South Village, starting from a mere $2 million for towns up to $5 million. Okay? Think about it. You go and do MRS research and say, within the Angus Glen area, have it ever hit into the $5 million area? No. They're about the 3.5 mil range. But after Kymore posts up a 5 mil deals, the entire Angus Glen is going to shoot up. Let's go across the street. On this other side, okay, that's where Bursey is. Burr Oak, Bursey, okay, Pierre Elliott, okay. Those homes were done a little bit earlier, 15, 20 years ago. Great communities, a little bit dated, but then they're stable communities. They all grew up there, and they say, hey, I love it here. I really love it. It's convenient, okay. I don't really want to move. I don't know where, I'm not going to all of a sudden go to Hamilton or go to Mississauga. I like Markham. This is a pride of ownership, belonging. To the southeast, I have Markville. Markville is an even older community. And then right to the south of 16th, southwest is Unionville. Say no more. 3.5 to 5 mil homes, or 6 or 7. Sky's the limit. What is common in this is that this whole area, you don't find a condominium. The last one that was there is 6 at Angus Glen with Kymore. Okay, that was many, many moons ago. And you drive along 16th and say, well, are there any possible tracks to the west, to the east? In this location, there's nothing. There's nothing. So it's very unique. But more beyond just being unique is when we approach and start talking to these developers, say, well, what do you want to do? What's your vision? What's your goals? What do you want to do with this project? End users or investors? That was my question. They asked me, say, Johnson, give me a report. Okay, I heard you guys do a lot of jobs around GTA. Are good. Yeah, I'm not the best, but I'm good, really good. What do you think of this project? What should we do? And then in their proposal, they actually want to reduce parking. We actually said counter. We look at what's happening in these quadrants and say, these are families. The families have been here, they want to stay here, but because of the family composition, because of kids growing up, they need the condominium, that affordability. But they don't want to leave this location, leave this neighborhood. There are families, new families coming in, that want to groom for the kids because of the schools. We're a great school network, great school network. But what is it? Is that these families will rely on a car. And we look at all their projects that have been launched. How often do you hear say, this is a great project for families? They always say that. But then if you buy a certain size of this and below, you cannot buy a parking. Well, what am I supposed to do? My kid, how does he get to work? Well, tough luck. Well, you're saying it's for families, but you're alienating and say, now my kid has to go take the bus? Oh, Viva is so, Purple Line is so convenient. Bullshit. So what we've done is we went back to the developer and said, don't reduce parking. I know you're trying to save some money, but increase it. Because if you truly believe in your vision of doing something different for the families there, then do the right thing. And they agreed. They look at our analysis as to the demographics, as to the family composition, as to what's going on in the marketplace, and say, look, the investor condos, the dime a dozen. But for you to get something so rare in here, this is a chance of lifetime. So do the right thing. Don't say one thing and then on the same breath, tell those families, say, drop the car, sell the car, take transit, walk. It doesn't work. So what we've done in this project, 269 units, if you buy a 1-bedroom, you have the right to buy parking. You buy 400 square feet 1-bedroom, you have the right to buy parking. 500 square feet, you have the right to buy parking. 600 square feet, we got products in the 400 square feet all the way up to 1,1600 square feet. Average price is going to be 1,400. It's not cheap, but it's value. You're not buying this because it's cheaper than Union City. No. You're buying it because it's rare. You're buying it because it is close to your family. You're buying it because you don't see anything like this, ever. It's rare. That is the uniqueness. Now what we're doing is that what we've done, not just the parking, we also come across the other way and say, what are the amenities that's needed in this project? What are the things that families really need? We went and talked to the Montessori principal. Learn from him. What is the Montessori principle? What do you do? What is the teaching that's different than any other? And what you're doing in your elementary school, in your high school, that's different. And so we crafted our amenities so that for the kids, for the early childhood educations, we have a STEAM education center. That's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. We actually teach the kids so that they have this tactile learning. They have this labs environment for the kids to really embrace. That's different. We also have rooms for the high schoolers to do the homework. We also have games rooms for the young adults to play. I put in a music practice room. I forego the swimming pool and the saunas and put in a golf simulation. We put in things that other people say, yeah, I may not have done that. But when we looked at the families and the participations, we went into Anglican community and say, look at what people are doing inside the community center. What do they want? We try to bring a piece of that experience into this community.
I'm sorry, Johnson. My child.
That's okay. Sorry I talked so long. Okay. Now, that is a unit. So what are we doing? We will be opening up the sales office, okay, which is located at 60 Southtown Road. That's the old Times Group sales office. Okay, it's all within this area. We're going to be there. We're going to start opening up sales office from next Monday. For brokers only. For you to come in to take a look. Okay? So I could coordinate with either of you to see when's a good time. Okay? Now, before Monday, I'm doing a special session on Sunday. 4 to 6, drop-in open house. No buyers, only brokers. It's all like what you do with an open house. You go into a listing in a location, you say, hey, I'm a new kid on our block. You just do an open house for brokers to come and preview, right? I'm doing that. So on Sunday, 4 to 6 at 60 Southtown, no appointments, just go in. But have to be broker. I will need to see your digital Rico card.
It's Sunday, right?
Yep. Okay, just come in, just experience it. Because it's one thing for me to say that this is so good and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Johnson, because you're just full of it. I'm so excited. I'm full of excitement, okay? Now, but I want you guys to truly believe it. Because if you are going to go and talk to your clients and say, hey, I think I got something good for you, I want you guys to believe it. Otherwise, don't even talk about this project. But I truly have worked over a year and a half on this to really bring this to this level of sophistication. Truly endorse it, truly believe in it. I want you guys to check it out. If it checks out, then go tell your clients. After 1 week of brokers only preview, then on the 8th of May, I'll open to the clients and brokers. If clients are not accompanied by brokers, they will be rejected.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Buyers cannot just walk in.
Okay.
My job is to protect you guys. My job is to make sure. No, that's how I operate. Okay? And then so I will not let anyone in unless there are brokers. So as a result, if you can talk to your clients, make sure that they come and with you. Don't just say, hey, yeah, Johnson got this project, just go down and check it out yourself. No, that won't work. Okay? And so I will start that preview, and then that way the clients can go and check it out. Okay? And I truly think that this is a great project for a lot of people. For all the reasons that I've talked about, the inflation, the reconnecting of families, for the kids, that's the first home, for the family, mom and dad as they age, yeah.
So average price 1,400 average. How many stories?
10.
10, okay.
Yeah, it's not a big project. It's not a big project, right? But then definitely, is it only for families? No, it's not. But I think the people who understand, who gets it, are people who understands where 16th and Kennedy, understand that, yeah, it would be so cool if I could be closer to my family. It would be so cool if I be there and my mom and dad's living in a townhouse already and just like go pick up the kids. Like that's why I hear all the brokers saying, man, like so and so, they're there. Like there's such a strong connection. Within that whole four quadrants of the Angus, Glen, the Unionville, Markville, and Bursey, over 60,000 families. Okay, single detached homes, about 45,000. This huge base. And more importantly, is if you look back over the last so many years, the resales, they haven't got that many resales going on. So that means the family composition is fairly, the people that live there, they've been there. And somehow, for whatever strange reasons, they don't want to move. They really like it there. Now, is this the same as a project on Highway 7? No, totally different. I've done projects on Highway 7. Under 620 square foot or 621 square feet, you can't buy parking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's normal. That's normal. But for this one, we're doing so many breakthroughs that makes it really different. Okay? So that's the opportunity. You guys are amazing. You guys have been very patient with me.
You are amazing.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, now, lastly, not because of this booth picture, but if you haven't got on the hi hello, take a picture of this and then save it. Okay,
Yeah.
if you like this program, use it. Incorporate into your business. Yes,
Nice. Thank you so much. Please send this to us, okay?
I will. Yes.
When are you guys releasing this? Like, when is it for sale, I guess?
Like starting the 8th, you can bring your clients in. I can sign anytime.
But when you have the floor plans and the price?
Floor plans and price, I think I'm going to have the first batch, maybe I'll be 8th or 9th.
8 or 9.
Yeah.
May I ask how the commission percentage?
For.
Same, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
standard. But
Yeah, that's
some
standard.
builders, they're different. Some builders.
Yeah.
So when is signing? So if you bring your clients in, they could potentially just buy that day, or?
No.
You have to wear the
Because if they just buy on the whim, they get cancel on the whim.
Right.
Okay, so I remember you gotta love that location. You gotta love what that location represents, so that you could actually coach your clients to say, hey, get this and get a strategy. You should be looking for this type of product or that type of products. Understand the needs. Again, I don't want them to buy because, oh, there's an allocation for a 2-bedroom. I don't want a 2-bedroom, but there's an allocation. So it's only about $50,000, $60,000 more. Yeah, you can afford it. Just buy it, because that's what I have on hand. No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. But rather have them really understand that that's a great location. I really like this. This is the range of what I'm looking for. Find me something. Give me some solutions. I want that process, because I want the process so that it helps you guys. I'm not worried about selling 269 units. Come on, I sold way more than that before. But what I want is the people that bought, they're proud of it. So they'll actually tell their friends about it.
Yeah.
They'll help you. So I don't want you to just do one deal. That deal will turn into more deals. That deal will turn into more conversations. And it's only possible when the clients understands what they're buying, understand why they like it. And they're liking it, not because, oh, my neighbor bought one, so I might as well buy one. No, because those type of buyers, they will not tell other people. Because they don't know. They don't know about the product enough. They don't really resonate with them. But I want the work that you guys do so that the first deal, you spend so much time and effort, and your second deal is going to get easier. Your third deal is going to get easier. Fourth deal, right? And this is something that is like, word of mouth is going to be so strong, because that's what this market is all about. They talk to each other. They're very chatty, right? So I think that is what I want to do, so that, again, it may not resonate with everybody, but for me so far, I just say, well, this is really good. I just wish I have more, right? Anything else? Any other questions? No? Well, you guys have been wonderful. Thank you very much.